There was once a kingdom, hidden between mighty rivers and endless deserts, where warriors, merchants, and scholars thrived. It grew from the shadows of great empires and, for a brief moment, ruled over vast lands stretching from the Caspian Sea to the borders of India. This was the Khwarazm Empire, an empire of ambition, intelligence, and tragic downfall. Today, we will explore its rise, its greatest victories, and its catastrophic fall at the hands of the Mongols. This is the untold story of the Khwarazm Empire. To understand the rise of the Khwarazm Empire, we must first travel back in time. Khwarazm, also known as Khwarazmia, was an ancient region located in modern-day Uzbekistan, Turkmenistan, and northern Iran. The land was fertile thanks to the great Amu Darya River, which provided water for agriculture. But Khwarazm was more than just farmland. It was also a crucial trade center. It lay at the heart of the Silk Road, connecting China, India, Persia, and the distant lands of Europe. The early people of Khwarazm were mainly Iranian, but over time, Turkic tribes migrated into the region. This created a unique Persian-Turkic culture, blending Persian art, language, and administration with Turkic warrior traditions. For centuries, Khwarazm was ruled by various empires, the Achaemenids, Alexander the Great, the Sassanids, and the Arab Caliphates. But everything changed when a new power, the Seljuk Turks, conquered the region in the 11th century. The true story of the Khwarazm Empire begins with Anushtagan Garchai, a Turkic military slave who became the governor of Khwarazm under the Seljuk Sultan Malik Shah Hats. His son, Qutb al-Din Muhammad, who ruled from 1097 to 1127, inherited the position and slowly expanded Khwarazm's influence. However, Khwarazm remained under Seljuk rule for many years. That changed when a powerful leader, Ala ad-Din Tekish, who ruled from 1172 to 1200, rose to power. Tekish was ambitious and saw that the Seljuk Empire was weakening. He took advantage of their decline and declared independence, making Khwarazm an independent kingdom for the first time in centuries. With its independence secured, Khwarazm quickly became one of the most powerful states in the Islamic world. Under Ala ad-Din Muhammad II, who ruled from 1200 to 1220, the empire reached its greatest territorial expansion. Muhammad II was a ruthless and strategic leader. He expanded his empire to include Persia, Afghanistan, Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan, northern India, and parts of Iraq and the Caspian region. His goal was to unite the entire Muslim world under his rule. He even challenged the powerful Abbasid Caliphate in Baghdad, demanding recognition as the supreme ruler. His greatest rival at the time was the Ghurid Empire, which controlled large parts of Afghanistan and northern India. After several wars, Khwarazm defeated the Ghurids and expanded into eastern Persia and India. Khwarazm was not only known for its military power, but also for its cultural achievements. The empire became a center for Islamic scholarship, attracting philosophers, poets, and scientists. The famous mathematician al-Khwarizmi, who developed algebra, was born in Khwarazm. His works influenced European science for centuries. The very word algorithm is derived from his name. Another luminary was al-Biruni, a polymath who made significant contributions to astronomy, geography, and anthropology. The empire controlled important Silk Road trade routes, bringing wealth from China, India, and the Middle East. The empire's architectural achievements were equally remarkable. Cities like Gurganj and Samarkand were adorned with stunning mosques, madrasas, and palaces. The Kutlug Timur minaret, standing over 60 meters tall, remains a testament to the empire's architectural prowess. Khwarazm was also a center of literary excellence. Poets like Rashid al-Din Vatvat and scholars like Fakhr al-Din Razi flourished under the empire's patronage, producing works that continue to inspire to this day. Khwarazm, by the early 13th century, was a rising superpower, a kingdom that seemed unstoppable. But then, something happened. By the early 13th century, the Khwarazm Empire had established itself as a dominant force in Central Asia. Its ruler, Ala ad-Din Muhammad II, saw himself as a challenger to the Abbasid Caliph in Baghdad and an equal to the great powers of the Islamic world. But with great power came great arrogance. Muhammad II's achievements and ambition would soon lead him into such overconfidence and arrogance that he could not be defeated ever. However, in the Far East, a new force had risen. A force unlike anything the world had ever seen. At the same time that Khwarazm was reaching its peak, a Mongol chieftain named Genghis Khan was uniting the scattered Mongol tribes into a disciplined and ruthless military machine. The Mongols had already conquered China, Tibet, and large parts of Central Asia, proving their ability to crush entire kingdoms in a matter of months. Unlike the traditional armies of Persia and the Middle East, the Mongols were fast, mobile, and highly disciplined. Their warriors were master horsemen and archers, capable of traveling hundreds of kilometers in a matter of days. They also used psychological warfare, terrifying their enemies into surrender before a battle even began. In 1218, Genghis Khan had no immediate plans to invade Khwarazm. Instead, he saw the empire as a potential trading partner. The Mongols were expanding their commercial networks and wanted to do business with Khwarazm cities, which controlled the vital trade routes of the Silk Road. To establish friendly relations, Genghis Khan sent a 500-man trade caravan to the city of Otrar, carrying goods and messages of peace. However, this peaceful mission ended in disaster. The governor of Otrar, Inalchuq, did not trust the Mongols. He feared they were spies sent to gather intelligence for an invasion. Without waiting for orders from Shah Muhammad II, he arrested the entire Mongol caravan and accused them of espionage. But he did not stop there. He executed all the merchants, stealing their goods and keeping them for himself. When Genghis Khan heard about this, he was furious, but still willing to resolve the issue peacefully. He sent 3 ambassadors to Shah Muhammad II, demanding an apology and the punishment of Governor Inalchuq. However, instead of negotiating, Muhammad II made an even worse mistake. He ordered the execution of 1 Mongol ambassador and mutilated the other 2, sending them back to Genghis Khan. For the Mongols, this was an unforgivable act of war. After the brutal murder of his ambassadors, Genghis Khan's rage knew no bounds. He swore vengeance on Khwarazm and gathered a massive army of over 200,000 warriors, including Mongol cavalry, siege engineers, and subject soldiers from conquered lands. Unlike traditional armies, the Mongols fought with speed, deception, and overwhelming force. They moved swiftly across deserts and mountains, attacking from unexpected directions. Their army was divided into smaller units that could operate independently, surrounding enemy cities and cutting off escape routes. Genghis Khan had one goal: to erase the Khwarazm Empire from existence. The first major target of the Mongol invasion was the great city of Bukhara, one of the jewels of the Khwarazmian Empire. Muhammad II had made a terrible strategic mistake. Instead of facing the Mongols in open battle, he divided his army among his cities, believing that they could withstand long sieges. This allowed the Mongols to defeat his forces one by one. When the Mongols reached Bukhara, the city was poorly defended, and its walls were no match for Mongol siege weapons. After just 2 weeks, the city fell. What happened next was terrifying. Genghis Khan gathered the people of Bukhara in the main mosque and stood before them. According to historical sources, he pointed at the terrified crowd and said, "I am the punishment of God. If you had not committed great sins, God would not have sent me upon you." After these chilling words, the Mongols burned the city to the ground. Thousands of people were massacred. Those who survived were taken as slaves or used as human shields in future battles. After destroying Bukhara, the Mongols turned to Samarkand, the capital of the Khwarazm Empire. Samarkand was heavily fortified with thick walls and a large army defending it. However, the Mongols had perfected siege warfare, using Chinese engineers to build massive catapults, siege towers, and battering rams. The battle for Samarkand was brutal. The Mongols used fake retreats to lure defenders out of the city, then ambushed them with devastating attacks. After a fierce battle, Samarkand fell. The Mongols executed nearly 100,000 people. The elite Khwarazmian guards were slaughtered, and the city's treasures were taken. With the fall of Samarkand, the Khwarazm Empire was doomed. Shah Muhammad II, who had once ruled one of the most powerful empires of the Islamic world, was now a fugitive. Instead of defending his cities, he abandoned his people and fled westward, hoping to escape. He moved from city to city, each time running further as the Mongols pursued him. His own allies betrayed him, and he lost all hope of reclaiming his throne. Finally, in December 1220, the once mighty king died of exhaustion and illness on a small island in the Caspian Sea. He died alone, far from the empire he had failed to protect. The last major city to fall was Urgench, the cultural heart of Khwarazm. This time the Mongols faced fierce resistance, and the battle dragged on for several months. When the Mongols finally captured Urgench, their wrath was beyond imagination. They massacred every man, woman, and child. Historical records say that so many people were executed that the Mongols had to divert the Amu Darya River to wash away the corpses. Urgench was wiped off the map. By 1221, the once mighty Khwarazm Empire no longer existed. Its cities were destroyed, its rulers were dead, and its people were either enslaved or scattered across the world. Genghis Khan had fulfilled his promise, "I will leave no trace of the kingdom of Khwarazm," and he succeeded. The Mongol invasion of Khwarazm remains one of the most brutal conquests in history, a lesson in the consequences of arrogance, poor leadership, and underestimating one's enemy. Even today, the ruins of Bukhara, Samarkand, and Urgench stand as silent witnesses to the greatest tragedy in Central Asian history. Although the Mongols destroyed Khwarazm, its legacy lived on. The Khwarazmian warriors fled to the Delhi Sultanate in India, where they helped build a new Muslim empire. Mongols adopted Persian and Khwarazmian culture, influencing future empires like the Timurids and the Mughals. Al-Khwarizmi's mathematical contributions shaped the modern world, influencing algebra and computer science. The fall of Khwarazm was one of the greatest tragedies in medieval history. It was a warning that arrogance and miscalculated decisions could lead to total destruction. The rise of Khwarazm was legendary, but its fall was a tragedy beyond imagination. Power alone does not protect an empire, wisdom and foresight do. This is the story of an empire that dared to challenge the Mongols and paid the ultimate price. History remembers the victors, but it also whispers the tales of those who dared to dream too high. Join us next time as we explore more tales of empires that shaped the world. Until then, remember, history is not just the story of the past, it is the foundation of our future. Our